I can't even hear you.
Well, we're live.
We're live?
Yep, we're live.
All right, man. Hey, Parlay P, how we doing today?
We are doing fantastic. It is a hump day, as
Hump
they used to
day.
say. You remember it was like that camel in the Geico, I guess it was a Geico commercial, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Guess what day it is? That one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing good on this hump day. How about you, AC Lee?
Man, not too bad. Just sitting here, enjoying life, taking it all in, pause, and just making sure that we're having a good show, man. But today's been a great.
Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Lee. Not the best way to get started today. Especially it looks like. Uh-oh. Well, you got me. Thanks for everybody that's tuning in already.
I'm back.
There we go. I think he's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Or as Kanye said, Jesus just rose again.
Are you? Yeah, you're. Can you see me?
I can't see you.
Okay, because yeah, man, my connection over here is not great. So
that's fine. Look, we're rotating this thing. It was me last week. Now we got you.
Tell you what, man. But yeah, no, today's been a pretty good day. Wild week. But you know what? We got Falcons football tomorrow. I get to go pick up my beautiful wife, my beautiful daughter, and my dogs on Friday and move them up to North Georgia. So we're excited.
Big week ahead. And it's a good thing too that the football gets knocked out of the way too.
Well, so we planned around this weekend since it's a Thursday game.
Well, and it's the start of the month.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really affect anything with my mom being my landlord and selling my house, so I'm still paying the mortgage until we close anyways.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But wild week in Georgia sports. So we're not actually going to start Falcons first. Let's just go in order. Georgia is upset by Alabama.
Yep.
But I don't really call it an upset because at the beginning of the year we have these rankings and we kind of hold to them, but you really don't know who is who until the games get played. And the disparity between good and bad in college versus good and bad in the NFL is so large that you really don't know who is who until good teams play each other. So Georgia goes down 28-0. I pretty much disconnect from the game and start doing some other stuff with my life. And we have a lead with less than 3 minutes left in the game.
It was Kirby. Well, let's give Mike Bobo some credit too. He was taking shots. He was doing what he should do. I've never understood this. Teams will go down, and I understand you don't want to run 4 Burts like for 4 downs in a row. But my thought is if you're down 2-3 scores, you got 15, 16, 17 minutes. We need to be picking up chunk plays. Now, you don't have to abandon the run. Like you can do the halfback draws and stuff like that too to get you a cheap 7 or 8 yards just because they're in heavy pass protection. But Mike Bobo continued to take shots, and that's where Alabama was vulnerable. They could not cover deep third, and that's why they were able to continue to come back. They were moving the ball down the field, and I mean, give the players credit too, but at the same time, clearly Alabama can't stop a deep pass.
No, they can't. And I think that's going to – here's what I think. I think the game exposed the truths about both teams. We see that Carson Beck is definitely not going first overall, which I think Georgia fans already knew that.
Everyone that had watched Georgia football last year should have known that, because there was nothing ever special. Now, I know when we spoke on the phone, Justice, obviously, he had the same disdain as you. I didn't think Carson Beck was bad. I just didn't understand why people were having him as the top projected quarterback, because then it just made me think, gosh, is this class this bad? Which maybe it kind of is. Maybe there's two truths to this, but he certainly isn't the best pro prospect of the quarterbacks that are eligible to come out this year.
And even if he is not so good at quarterback that you draft him first overall. You go find another player.
He has no mobility.
None. And his decision making is questionable. And I'm just telling you, as a Georgia fan, and it's so funny being a Georgia fan, because although we've won 2 natties in the last 3 years, we're still not a national brand. We're a big brand, but we're not a national brand. Being a Falcons fan, we're not a national brand.
Yeah.
Being a Hawks fan, we're definitely not a national brand. Braves are a bit more national as far as fan base goes, but still, even in like TV conversation, we're not like a national brand. Hearing people comment on Georgia sports at the national level, it really shows you how some of your favorite sports talk people, podcasters, TV, whatever, don't watch as much as you think they do. And there's only 24 hours in a day, so I get it. You only have so much time.
Yeah.
But hearing the Carson Beck hype, you go, all right, bro, y'all are watching cut-ups. You didn't watch this guy week in and week out. There's no way in hell you watch this guy week in and week out and think he's that guy. Because he's good. But, I mean, we had more confidence in Stetson Bennett. We had more confidence in Matthew Stafford, our last first overall pick.
We have more confidence in Aaron Murray.
Oh, God. Aaron Murray wins that game Saturday.
Well, and here's the thing. Aaron Murray doesn't get the flowers he deserves, especially now because of what Stetson did. But Aaron Murray, up until Stetson Bennett did what he did, was the greatest, to me, Georgia quarterback. Yeah, Matt Stafford was the better, obviously, pro-wise and stuff. But in terms of what he did at UGA, that is the only person prior to Stetson that made you actually feel like, man, we're really going to, we can win it all. Like
David Green didn't give you that feeling?
No. And I think a lot of the David Green stuff was this. Some people thought that Shockley should have been started. That it shouldn't have came down to Shock's 50 years. Like, he was like a redshirt senior when he did start. David Green held all the records before Aaron Murray, but like Aaron Murray, every year it felt like we're getting better and better and better and better. And it crescendoed, obviously, falling 2 yards short to Alabama in that SEC championship. That was the national championship that year. But, like,
absolutely.
It's a damn shame that we didn't have the committee back then, because it would have set up to where Bama was a 1 and Georgia would have been a 3 playing Notre Dame, and they would have smashed Notre Dame. And I don't know who Alabama would have played at 4 that year, but, they would have beat whoever it was, and we would have got that rematch.
Yeah. So another thing I take away from this, I think in the year of 2024, Alabama has the best coach and team situation in college football. And I say that to say Alabama's a brand, and there are some top prospects who are going to want to go to Alabama just because it's the Roll Damn Tide. Well, Alabama, as far as the recruiting base goes, is in an ideal location because it's in the middle of the Southeast. So you can pull from Texas and parents can still drive to games. You can pull from Georgia, Florida, parents can still drive to games. You can still get Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. If you want somebody out of there, you're in a great spot for recruiting. Kalen DeBoer might be the best offensive coach in college football. And based on his winning percentage, he's just a great coach. He just wins. But you bring his offensive innovation, which is something that has not been as highly emphasized in the SEC and hasn't really been needed because of the great trench play, to Alabama and their ability to maintain their their linemen and their defensive players. And that Williams kid you've got the best of both worlds, and Alabama is primed to win a natty without Saban. And there'll be some smart people who say the best thing Nick Saban could have done was left Alabama at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I can get on board with that.
Because you can't get you're not going to get an OC who stays there as good as DeBoer long term. Now, when Nick's stitch wears off, we're going to see what he's really made of. But in this year, I think
in 3 years.
I got a question for you. It popped up in a group text of mine. Blake Sims or Jalen Milroe?
Jalen Milroe.
People argue Blake Sims in my group text.
Jalen Milroe. I don't even think it's close.
I don't either. These are also people who I love, but they were caping for Trevor Lawrence, so there may be some bias there.
So they probably think Trevor Lawrence was better at Clemson than Deshaun Watson too.
Probably. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna talk about my friends who I'm starting a podcast with soon. This is great. Start a pod war. They said Devontae Adams to the Jaguars.
Why?
Because Trevor needs weapons, and I said, why would Devontae want to go there? He doesn't want to play with another bad quarterback. Gardner Minshew is good Trevor Lawrence.
Well, there's that, and then I'm not trying to be funny. He doesn't want to move to Jacksonville.
Or the UK.
Or the UK. You know, and I would like to think that Devontae Adams wants to win football games. Just because he goes there and he would get the ball and it would give Trevor a weapon. It doesn't excuse the fact that they won't win football games. They're still not going to win football games. So I think that winning and comfortability is the number one thing on his list. So neither of those are presented in. Yeah, neither of those are presented. Obviously, people bought up the Saints. I think he could go to New Orleans. I could see that, honestly.
But hey, hey, you brought up New Orleans. Let's get to our favorite segment. We are all here to do what do. And that we did. Falcons win in a thriller, walk-off field goal by Younghoe Koo, longest field goal in Mercedes-Benz Stadium history to beat the Saints.
I loved every bit of it.
Oh, man, I did too. It felt amazing, especially to be there with a Saints fan whose nutsack I came from. I went to the game with my pops.
Yeah, well, obviously I know, but and I'm sure people could put two and two together. I hope they can.
I don't know. Niggas can't add.
Well, and then you got all this weird stuff going on, and people,
yeah,
I don't know, but I won't touch that subject because I know that's how people like us can't do what we're doing. They'll send something to StreamYard and they'll tell them don't let these son of bitches on Spotify, whole nine. But
they'll block our IP addresses.
Yeah,
that's what Instagram does when your account gets reported.
They block your IP address.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll suspend it for a certain amount of time.
Well, and I guess you would know.
Hey, that was a great 36 hours.
Yeah.
We were on our way out of here until they got me blocked. My engagement was through the roof. Never seen engagement like that in my life.
Well, I thought that it was interesting when she obviously she looked at your bio, it said comedian, and she tried to she put like her face like daydreaming, like next to like thinking. I don't know.
No, it was super funny because I had struggling comedian in my bio as a joke.
I knew that, but I'm saying just the way that she used it.
And she used it like she fed into my joke the way that I like set it up. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you took the bait. And I like to make jokes that are funny to the people who know, but may not be funny to the masses. It's kind of like when you've knocked a girl off and somebody's talking about her, and not somebody in your circle, because you don't have that like stuff in your circle. But somebody's talking about her, and you're just sitting there like, golly, if you know how she glazed me, you wouldn't think this highly of her. But you get like that internal laugh that everybody else can't laugh at.
Yeah.
That's what we go for. But anyways, Falcons first. So we set ourselves up to take first place in the division tomorrow. As we're recording this, it's Wednesday. We play the Buccaneers on Thursday. My biggest fear that was the Saints is no longer. I think as a team, we've gotten better every single week. We're learning things. We're figuring stuff out. Our defense is bend, don't break, which as long as they don't break, I'm okay with the bending. And we made some timely plays. But the two things that we were expecting to happen this season, that was all the talk in the offseason, was getting Kyle Pitts going and getting Bijan going, and neither has really gotten going in the way that we would expect them to.
Yeah, Bijan, it feels like he's taken a step back to a degree every week. His Philadelphia game was probably better than the Pittsburgh game, but he played well in the Pittsburgh game too. But then, each game proceeding after that, it's kind of it's gotten worse. Tyler Algier has a pulse. He looked pretty fucking good every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
This is the thing I'll say. We're giving up 21 a game currently defensively. If you've got a decent offense, you're going to not only be in every game with your defense only giving up 21, but you really should win a majority. If your offense can just, 24. Become fluid. If it could become fluid, I mean, that would be a big, big, big piece of it that would make it to where it's easier to win more and more games. And that's something that I think that they've not only got the potential to do, but I also think that, the offense hasn't gotten going the way we need it to in any game this year. They did it in the last drive in Philly, for sure. Like, we saw what the offense could be. First drive against Kansas City, same thing. Like, you ended that game and started that game the exact way we expected this offense to look this season. But something is missing there. And I don't know if it's Kirk Cousins' health still, or if it's just everything is still so new for everybody, even around him. Darnell Mooney has been a bright spot in the offense. I think he's played very well, like in every game. Ray McCloud's been a bright spot, honestly. And maybe it's because he's getting a lot of targets, it feels like. Drake London, I like what they're doing with him in the red zone because they're actually throwing him the ball, which is why he's scoring. Because they're actually giving him the ball. Bijan has not got going, and Pitts has not got going. I'm going to say it now, and I've been one of these people that's been holding out that hope and faith for Pitts. We made a mistake. He's not a fourth overall pick.
You want to know why it's a bigger mistake, Parlay Pete?
Because Brock Bowers looks fantastic.
And because Arthur Smith has Justin Fields playing the best football we've seen in his NFL career.
Yep.
That could have been an Atlanta marriage 4 years ago.
Yep.
3 years ago, whatever. And it's like, oh, you guys have synergy utilizing a solid run game, and timely passing and a timely passing game to move the ball and score points and kick field goals and then get touchdowns as you need it. Like imagine this year's Justin Fields with Ryan Nielsen's defense last year.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith is a head coach still.
He's still a head coach and he's still in Atlanta.
It's absolutely crazy to see that marriage come together the way that it did when we could have had that marriage here.
Even funnier, we could have had that marriage here this year.
Nah. Arthur was out of there after that Saints game. He wasn't coming back from that. If they would have fought, he maybe. But the way he was in that Saints game, it's kind of like Jared being mad at everybody from Dallas after the Packers game. You're just not coming back from that one.
Do you remember his quote to Dennis Allen after the game?
I don't. What was it?
He's like, that's fucking bullshit. Yeah, he's like, that's fucking bullshit. He just like kept saying that shit too. And Dennis Allen's like looking at him like, like, I'm sorry. Like, basically, I didn't call that play.
Yeah, the funny thing is talking to Saints fans Sunday.
Bravo's on board. By the way, breaking news. They scored already.
Okay, good stuff. But yeah, so talking to Saints fans Sunday, they are they're honest about who they are today. Because they're talking about how they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, and I go, Drew Brees and Sean Payton are gone. This is Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, and they're like, and I'm like, you don't believe in them? They're like, yeah, you're right. We don't. I was like, look at some honesty from some of the worst fans in the NFL. And by worst, I mean they're actually really good fans. They're just like some of the worst fans to be around. I actually think they're an underrated, like obnoxious fan base. Again, not a national brand, so they don't get the love. They don't get the love / hate of Cowboys fans and Jets fans and Philly fans, but Saints fans are intolerable. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, and I think, obviously we're their biggest rival, so like we get like the worst of it, the worst of them, because they're not talking shit like that to I'm trying to think of a fan base, to a LA Chargers fan.
Well, the Chargers don't have fans, so that's that. Come on, man.
Well, I'm just saying one guy. There's one guy at the game. Or maybe it's that Asian lady.
Who that said they're gonna beat them Saints? But what I love about that right there is because we got that Jeezy, who that we that.
Yeah.
We get to remix that shit on them. And I want to say they played that when the game was over.
They say, who that?
Nigga, we that. Shawty red on the track. They say, who that? But no, man, it was a great time. And I'm excited to see what we're going to do tomorrow. I do have concerns of AJ Terrell having to see Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can beat Baker. We did it with Desmond Ridder. But, after we paid AJ Terrell, I just became I'm not against AJ Terrell. But I'm not for him either.
Well, we the interesting stat that I saw on Twitter, we have given up the least explosive plays in the NFL so far this season. And if you notice, there haven't been really any big plays. Our which goes into the bend don't break moniker of the defense. Jimmy Lakes has done a pretty good job. And boy, talk about getting Judon and Simmons. And look, Bates is still the guy on this defense. He's the leader. He's the best player on the defense. But the addition of those pieces has made the difference. Like, it's made a big, big difference. Because Judon's just about the only one getting back there. Grady's coming up the middle, of course. But, like, Judon's the only guy I'm constantly seeing back there.
Yeah.
And he needs help. Like, we need somebody on that other end. And Evan Katie hasn't stepped up yet. Kane Ellis, he obviously stepped in for Landman, had the pick six.
Yep.
Got to see some of that quarterback, running back speed I guess he had at Montana State. But he's out tomorrow. He's not playing tomorrow either. He's out. He got hurt at the end of the game, so he's not playing. Yeah, the biggest thing is don't let Baker get loose with Mike.
Yeah.
Or Godwin, honestly. Make them run the ball or make it to where you're stopping the run and their pass is so predictable to where you're stopping the pass because they can't run the ball. And they already aren't a running team. Like, they can't run. Bucky Irvin's been a nice little surprise for them, honestly. I think he's better than Rashad White. It looks like it so far. But
he's not on my superstar in Madden. Rashad White's been going crazy for me.
Really?
Yeah. I'm leading the league in pass, and he's leading the league in rushing. No, I don't play on all Madden. I'm not good. I want to win and have fun. That's a thing about being an adult video game player. I wouldn't call myself a gamer. I don't have time to be good at video games, nor do I have I just don't care enough. But I still want to play and have fun.
The only time you put it on all Madden is when you're playing against somebody.
Yes, absolutely. Playing against somebody, we're playing all Madden. I'm not playing against the computer all Madden and getting my doors blowed off every single time. I'm like, bro, this ain't fun.
No, I'm putting it on rookie and I'm padding my guy's stats. That's what I'm doing. I'm padding stats.
Yeah, we winning. Yeah, so anyways, do you want to go to the Braves or do you want to stay in football?
Let's go to Braves, just touch it lightly because they are certainly because they're playing right now, and I'm looking at it now. They look like they are possibly giving up some ass too after taking a 1-0 lead.
I mean, they are from Atlanta.
Yeah, the Padres, they got 2-on with no out, so that's not, Tatis and Luis Arraez, they both are on right now.
Oh,
so that's not good. Max Fried needs to
tighten it up.
Give up the ass. Yeah, because that's the only chance that they really had. They've got to win today. Obviously, everybody knows that, and then anything can happen in a win or go home game. We know that across any sport. And then you got to hope that Chris Sale can come back.
How do those series work? Is it 2-1 or is it
2 out of 3?
Yeah, it's 2-1, right?
No, they're all in San Diego.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean it's a 3-game series.
Give a fuck. In the WNBA, they do 2-1. If the higher seed doesn't win the first 2, then the lower seed gets home court for the last game. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, but think about how ridiculous it would kind of be to play a game, 2 games in San Diego, and then for them to fly to Atlanta tomorrow.
Well, how ridiculous!
And plus, my bad. And plus, you got to realize too with baseball, that's how series work. I mean,
true.
I get it for these. I get it because think about it. The next round, the NLDS and ALDS is 5, which is 2-2-1, and then, of course, the AL and NLCS are both 7-game series, and so is the World Series.
Maybe the NBA should adopt the baseball playoff model, the 3-5-7-7.
Yeah, do you mean for like the play-in?
No.
You're saying just for the first round in general. Well, if you remember, the first round used to be 5-game series.
Yeah, but then the owners wanted more money.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that. I mean, more NBA basketball. I agree. I think a 5-game series should suffice for a first round matchup.
Well, we could go 5-5-7-7.
Because especially a lot of these series, certainly typically the 1 and 8, it's like let's just hurry up and get this thing over with. But at the same time, I also understand wanting to get both teams to get that 2 home games, no matter what.
Yeah, the money.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's all about the money. Gotta let it show. I love the dough. Oh, I love the dough more than you. See, I was not gonna sing all about the Benjamins because uh now that
Puffy.
Diddy's been indicted, we can no longer enjoy his music. I think that's the rules
Yeah.
of the internet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
Funny thing I was listening to this weekend. Earlier this week actually. Charleston White was talking about Diddy. And they were talking about like the dude asked him, did he still listen to Diddy's music and stuff? And then they got to R. Kelly. He was like, I like R. Kelly. I don't know Robert Kelly. I like the artist. I don't know the man.
And Charleston's right though. I mean, R. Kelly is his stage name, while Robert Kelly's his real name. We don't know him. We don't know the real man. And that's the issue too with a lot of fandom. These people, like even somebody like a Taylor Swift, these people worship this person that they don't know. Like they don't know the person, period.
And they invest into their personal lives. And then all of a sudden, if they do something in their personal lives, people, for one, are disappointed, which I'm rarely, if ever, disappointed by anything a celebrity does because
Yeah.
I don't know them. So there's no standard for me to hold them to. And then it's like, oh, you can't consume the entertainer because the person is flawed. It's like, well, do you love your dad if he commits fraud and goes to prison?
All right. How about the Braves with the double play? Bases loaded. I'm sorry, I just had to say this.
No, that's
Bases
important.
loaded, struck out Machado, and then turned a double play.
That's what I'm talking about. That's playoff baseball right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Braves had a doubleheader to fight for their lives against the Mets. After taking a lead in game one of the doubleheader, they end up losing by a run. So we're playing in game two to get to the playoffs. And we won. And just the nerves that you feel as a Georgia fan, as a Georgia sports fan, right? Because we take it back to Saturday. At one point during that game, most of us Georgia fans had given up, and now the game is background noise, kind of watching, but then it's like, damn, we got our ass kicked. Then you take the lead, and you get this high, like, oh my God, we're actually going to win this game that we shouldn't have won.
I think ACE is having some technical difficulties. That's okay, though. I'm still here, but I guess to piggyback off what he was saying, you get in this position where you get excited just to know that you're about to be let down. And it's happened many times in Georgia sports lore. It just seems like it's something that's always happened to us. We don't ever get to be, the team or the fan base that gets the joy of having nice things, really, to say the least. We don't really get that. And so, these type of things, they happen to us for whatever reason. But the Braves were able to dig out of it and get it done. Georgia was not. The Falcons were able to do it. And I think that on our end, that makes us happy. A, to get 2 out of 3 this weekend, and then B, the more important games were won. The Falcons winning was huge. Like, they needed to win that game. Georgia, not so much. It wasn't necessarily the same. It looks like we got AC Lee back after the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm back. But
I
all I
pretty
was
much
getting at was, we have the highs of the Georgia-Alabama game, highs and lows, the end zone a low, but it was the least significant impact game of the weekend. Then we go to the Falcons game, where if we don't win that game, our season is feels like it's over. And then you follow that up with but you get the win. And then you follow that up with a Braves win where if we lose both of those games, our season is over.
Yeah.
But if we win both of them, we are a higher seed than the Mets.
Well, no. So we actually, no matter what, we're higher than them because we had the tiebreaker over them because we beat them more times. Now, but here was the thing. You win both games, you would have had the joy of knowing that you sent the Mets home, that they didn't get to go to the playoffs. And look, that in itself, considering they weren't going to win we're probably not winning the World Series this year. That in itself, I think, would make any Braves fan proud. It's like, well, we sent the fucking Mets. Because think about it. You know, you got your New York media, your New York talking heads.
It's about Mike and the Mad Dog.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Mad Dog's a Mets fan. He's not a Yankees fan. He seems like he's more of a Mets fan, just like he seems like he's more of a Jets than Giants fan. And, you know, those are the type of New Yorkers you actually want to talk sports, because their teams are so fucking bad typically. And they don't ever want, like, they will talk. Like, even that video you sent me, that dude was wearing a Mets shirt, right? Like, yeah. Those are the most miserable scum of New York. Their teams suck, but they swear they know every fucking thing about sports. Those are the type of guys that you want to talk sports with in New York City. I don't want to talk to a Giants fan, because Giants fans are like, yeah, I know we suck, but we got 2 Super Bowls. What do you have? You know, I don't want to talk to a Yankees fan. Yeah, okay, the Braves won a World Series more recent. We haven't won a playoff series in fucking 10 years, but we whooped you guys' ass in the 90s 3 times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. You guys don't have a Derek Jeter. Chipper Jones is no Derek Jeter to them.
Well, my man said Derek Jeter's overrated.
Chipper Jones might be the best switch hitter ever. And some would argue maybe the best third baseman ever.
He's definitely the best switch hitter ever.
Yeah.
Well, actually, second best.
Who's number 1?
Maybe third. I'd probably go Diddy, Meek, 1 and 2.
I knew that you were trying to draw something again, and I just wanted to know who it was.
Man, you had to know Freak Meal was going to be on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so spicy NFL week though.
Yeah, very spicy. Not as many upsets as last week, which, by the way, before we even go any further, just to piggyback off of this, college football, we went 4-1 because one of the games got canceled because of the hurricane, the App State Liberty game. We went 4-1 with Georgia being the only loss. And then in the NFL, we went, I want to say 5-1.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we had a great week
this week too.
Yeah, we had a great week this week. Well, you took Georgia too, so you went 2-1.
That's fine. If I hit 66.7% of my bets, I think I should continue betting.
Yeah. Well, you'd be a top seed in baseball with that type of record. You'd be a top seed in most sports, actually. Think about it. But
yeah, so I mean, we have an exciting week in the NFL. Who played Thursday? We had a snooze fest Thursday. We had Dallas and
the Giants. I mean, it was competitive at least. I mean, for what it's worth. But
you know, kids' recreation sports are competitive.
Yeah.
Don't care to watch it.
You're a dick.
I mean, look, I coach it.
I get it, you know.
And I made it to my first game on Saturday. And, you know, I'm one of the informal coaches who comes to practice every day, but I didn't like sign up with the city and all of that stuff to be a coach.
Yeah.
Show up to the game. I was probably not dressed appropriately. Falcons crew neck, some black Nike shorts, and some Concord 11s.
What did they call you, Coach AC? What do they call you?
I think they called me Coach Lee. I don't know. They just call me Coach most of the time. So I come to the sideline. I give me a good quarter and a half out there. And then a lady from the city comes out there. He doesn't have a badge. He didn't do the background check. He's got to go. Lady. I'm down here coaching my boys up. I know I don't look the part, but I would look this part even if I had a badge.
Right.
I'm not coming in here in some fucking water resistant pullover and khaki shorts. No, I'm the DB coach. I'm a player's coach. I gotta look like a player. I gotta think I'm cool. But anyways, no, I watched that, and I mean, it was a tough watch. It was definitely tough watching fifth graders. Good kids love them. We're gonna get them right, but it was a tough watch. But anyways, we had that terrible Thursday night game. My 1 o'clock window was the Falcons game. Didn't watch anything else. My 4 o'clock window was Kansas City and the Chargers. I mean, Kansas City just willed themselves to victory. Apparently, that's just what they do.
Yeah.
They just fucking win. And I think that's some of that championship DNA that when you've been there before, it's not about looking pretty. It's not about padding stats. It's just about getting wins and figuring stuff out. The Chiefs lose Rashee Rice, but Travis Kelce emerges from the dead. And it takes me to something I heard early in the season where somebody was saying that, hey, don't be surprised if Kelce doesn't put up crazy numbers because they're moving Rashee Rice into that role and they're going to be experimenting with shit because they know what Trav can do when they need him to do it, but they got to get Rashee comfortable in that role and Patrick comfortable giving the ball to Rashee. And I think that's what it looked like to you, wasn't it?
Sure. I mean, look, I think that Travis Kelce is more occupied with other things. And I'm not even talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about all the other shit. He has a fucking game show now. Did you know that?
No.
Now, I know obviously he's not shooting in the middle of the season, but I'm just saying his brother just retired. In a weird way, although they never played on the same team or anything, I feel like that almost has to I feel like it's something he thinks about because, people had talked about him potentially retiring too and, them going in at the same time and all this other stuff. I feel like he realizes that he's at the end of his career and there's just the other side is so much greener. It looks like his brother's having fun doing Monday Night Football. He's in a relationship with the biggest pop star in the world. They've already won. Like the chase for winning for him probably just isn't there, but he wants to do it because Andy and Mahomes want to keep doing it.
And I think he knows he's gonna miss the competitive itch. But I don't think it's as itchy. It's not poison oak or anything. He's not having an allergic reaction here.
Well, I think at this point for him, it's almost like yes, I'm gonna turn it on when it's ready to go. But honestly, I want to hurry up and get this over with. Can we hurry up and get to the playoffs so that if we can hurry up and cap off this three-peat, I'll end my career. We will have done something that nobody's done. And me and Mahomes now become the greatest duo in the postseason. We pass Rice Montana.
And he can tie Gronk for rings. And his rings would be a bit more significant.
Well, Gronk got
more
one
significant to Gronk because Gronk was hurt for some. In Chiefs news, Rashee Rice's mom was seen on camera still in package. With Chappelle Roan records from a neighbor's doorstep.
You said Rashee Rice?
Yeah, his mom was caught still in the package from a neighbor's doorstep.
Are they sure that that's what it was? What it was?
I'm just telling you what Spiritual Word reported. Gotta trust them.
I hate Spiritual Word.
You're not the only one.
Who's the worst out of those?
Well, see, I don't follow Shade Room. And I only follow Spiritual Word for one to bother Josh Holsey and JP when I send filth to our group text. But also, I don't want our show to become so manosphere that we lose sight with the people who we don't really communicate with.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, because if you really think about it, there are very few natural conversations that we have in our friend groups that come from the black woman / gay black man blocks.
Yes. I mean, unless it's tea.
And even the way we approach the tea is totally different. Like, yes, we're going to talk about Diddy because everybody talks about Diddy. Those are like that's the obvious stuff.
Yeah.
But let me see. Let me go to that stupid pic. Like, we don't care about Rasheed Rice's mom stealing. We don't care about what Sexy Red fan said her friend laying on the bed looks like finesse 2 times. Or here's another one. DDG says 9 to 5 jobs should only be used to fund your own business. We would never even have that conversation because it's stupid.
It's stupid, and we don't follow these people.
No, like anybody who says your 9 to 5 job should fund your own business is just so disassociated from reality. You know, there are people out here who can't even like save enough money to put a down payment on a house. You're talking about funding a business. What if I don't want a business?
That's another thing too. Everybody thinks that everybody wants to or should work for themselves. A lot of people don't realize that, for one, it's expensive to do, but two, like, that is not for everyone. Everyone's not meant to be the boss. Like, it's not for everybody. Like, it's not, and here's the other part. You can still be the boss somewhere and not have your own business. Like, so I don't know if it's you should want to be an entrepreneur because you should want to be the boss and basically do what you want to do. If that's why everybody keeps trying to like push a narrative or something like that, or if it's more along the lines of you're not financially free unless you are an entrepreneur. I've never understood it.
But you're not necessarily financially free if you're an entrepreneur.
That too.
You can be, but just like you can be financially free if you are on salary or you have a job somewhere punching a clock. Yes, you have requirements, but if you own a business, you have requirements too. You can't just say the average person can't just say, "Hey, I'm taking a 2-month vacation. I'm not checking emails or taking phone calls."
You're not able to do that as an entrepreneur. Like, if you work for yourself, you can't do that. Like, not for a small business.
I mean, but even for a large publicly traded corporation, you really think you want to be cut off from your shareholders for 2 months? Nigga, that's damn near a quarter.
Yeah.
Tell you how long you won't be CEO, buddy.
Plus, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. Who the fuck is DDG? Who the fuck is that? Like, you know what I mean?
Dumb, goofy.
The only thing I know about that nigga is that he got the chick pregnant, right? One of the Bailey sisters, Chloe Bailey, like them, right?
Sure.
That's all I know about this cat. I don't know any of his music. From my understanding, he is a rapper, right? That's what, right?
Yeah,
I think
he's a rapper.
It. Don't know any of his music. Like, couldn't tell you. Couldn't hum a fucking hymn. Like, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't. And it's not because I'm older either. I don't think that that's it. I just think, like, who the hell is that? Like, for real. Like,
it goes to that Pharrell quote about celebrities giving advice on politics.
Yeah.
We don't want your advice on business either. Because guess what? Most of you entertainers and celebrities are either salaried workers or fucking hired hands.
Yeah, Kanye said it best. He said, because look at Gaga. She's the creative director of Polaroid. He's like, I like some of the Gaga songs, he said, but what the fuck does she know about cameras? Ye had a point though, but it's the same thing with politics. It's the same thing with anything.
And hey, you bring up Ye. If you want to take business advice, listen to Kanye. You can get both good business advice and bad business advice from Kanye. Kanye has, worked for major companies. Kanye has also entered in agreements as a partner with major companies. He's also done direct to consumer business. Kanye is a billionaire. You can listen to Kanye. Kanye single-handedly tanked Adidas stock. Trust me, I owned some when it happened.
Did you really?
Yeah. Like a week before he went on the anti-Semitic stuff, I loaded up on Adidas stock in preparation for the summer and then back to school. I was talking to somebody and we're talking about like that's kind of how he was like, think about when you buy shoes. That's typically when shoe stock goes up. You go, oh, that makes sense.
Right.
So I was gearing up for it. Then Kanye came in with like the fucking the comments. I don't even want to like make a joke about the comments because that might get me in the comments somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get out. I'm gonna get out now. I'm not riding this one out. But yeah, like Kanye is a good person to follow for business because you also get to see a lot of his public his public successes and failures. A lot of Jay-Z's business failures are private. You don't really know like bad business that Jay-Z's done, but he's done bad business because you can't do business without doing bad business.
You only know the brands that he promotes.
Yeah, you don't know those startups that he invested in, and somebody ran off on the plug twice.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we got there. Do you think Tyreek Hill's going to get traded too?
We got there because of Rasheed Rice's mama stealing a package. But no, I don't. Honestly, unless they just want to clear the slate, because that would be the only reason why they would trade him. They would trade him because they're like, all right, we got 2 wide receivers, we're paying all this money. Tua's status is uncertain for the future. Mike McDaniels might be getting fired. We might just be able to clear the slate here because somebody will take Tyreek Hill, obviously. He's a very tradable asset. And certainly that team that he used to play for could probably use him and just get the band back together. They got Kareem Hunt already. Might as well get the band back together at this point. They did. I'm just saying. I mean, they could do it. Wouldn't that be the remarkable part about them winning if they were to win this 3rd Super Bowl in a row? Like they did it with familiar faces that were kind of the start of this because Kareem Hunt didn't win that first Super Bowl with them.
He hasn't won one with him, has he?
No, he got the year that they lost to the Patriots was his last year there because everything happened that summer. So he wasn't because Damian Harris was not Damian Harris, Damian, the running back. He played for the Falcons for a little bit after that.
Damian Woody?
No. That's who I was saying for. Maybe it is Damian Harris. He's the running back. Because he really should have won Super Bowl MVP for that first Super Bowl. I thought he had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards.
Well, what about Shady?
Shady didn't get any tick, remember? He was
on that squad, though.
Yeah, but he didn't get any tick. I don't even think he was active for the Super Bowl.
I've said this on here before, but I really hate when Shady's introduced as 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Did he get both of his with Kansas City?
No, he got one in Tampa.
Oh, yeah. He was on that Brady squad, huh?
Yeah.
Where they were just loading niggas up, loading up niggas on a team.
They could have dressed us in a Shady McCoy jersey for those games.
Yeah, we would have contributed just as much, maybe more.
I think I'm funny.
He was probably talking to somebody that was like, nigga, sit down, shut up and sit down and sit on the bench. Like on our end, we would have just been quiet and been like, okay, coach, like type shit.
I would have found somebody. I would have found somebody in sweats who knew they wasn't playing with their jersey on top of their sweats. and we would have been just talking shit the whole game, talking about what we gonna do after.
Yeah. setting up everything.
Hey, text hit up, you know what I mean? Gotta
Let her know we're gonna be here. I think we might be experiencing another technical difficulty on our end, guys. Eef. Not sure. Yeah, we could have been bigger contributors than that. That's for sure. Yeah, we definitely could have been bigger contributors than them. But at the end of the day, I think that it's just one of those things where Shady, he was just going to get himself a ring. But yeah, I definitely don't like it when they introduce him as that too, because that's not really what he's known for. It's not like he's known for winning Super Bowls, right? Like he might have some rings, but like he's not known for winning them. So that shouldn't really be, how they do it. But anywho, Tyreek Hill coming back to the Chiefs would be an interesting wrinkle to the season, especially because it would tell us a lot about Miami and a lot about the direction that Miami is headed in. I could see it, but I could also not see it. I could just see it being one of these things where everybody kind of just lets it play out. And I don't think a lot of the league would agree with it either. Adding such a dynamic weapon to a team like the Chiefs, and although they're on the brink of getting history done, I just don't, I don't see it happening. I don't see something like that working out, but it should be pretty interesting. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm just spitballing here because Lee has experienced some technical difficulties. So we're kind of just sitting in this position where my hands are kind of tied. But I will give you a live update on this. How about this? Padres just hit what appears to be, they got 5 runs. I don't know if they hit a grand slam or I guess that we could kind of check out and see. Let's see what happened here. We got just a bunch of runs that just got scored. But again, the Braves weren't really expected to do much this year. Nobody was really expecting it after all the injuries. Coming into the year, of course, proverbial favorite. Team that everybody kind of expected to win the whole thing, but it is sad to see kind of their carcass get taken out like this by San Diego. Who knows? Maybe it's San Diego's year. They've certainly been building that team up to be in this position. But it's not looking good at all for the Braves. It's not looking good at all. It definitely looks like they're getting ready to go home. But, we could just pivot into a couple of NFL topics, games that we got coming up. Let me poke it up. I know we were talking Falcons, obviously, and what a huge game that's going to be for us tomorrow. It's going to be everything. We need everything in this situation. And so I expect us to come out and play well and to, seize the NFC South, if you will. And we got AC Lee back after the tech.
Okay, I'm back. If I go out again, pause. I don't even know why I said pause there. I'm just gonna just stream from my phone for the rest of the show. But you were talking something about the NFC South. I have no idea what the hell you were talking about, though.
Yeah, so I know we were talking Tyreek Hill initially, but then of course I had I pivoted a little. Braves just went down 5-1, so we kind of talked about that. How that carcass is it's
Cooked.
officially road. Yeah, it's roadkill all the way. I see the buzzards flying around. That's how dead that carcass is. But and then I was just going to pivot it over here into the NFL, of course, and how, of course, we talked about how we got this game tomorrow and just how important the game is. It's such an opportunity because if you win, not only are you in first place with 2-0 in the division, you get to head to Carolina with a chance of being 4-2 and having 3 wins over, being 3-0 in the division and how big that is already early in the season. But on the negative side too, if we lose, you're 2-3, headed to a Carolina team that could beat the Carolina could beat the Bears this week. In reality, they can beat the Bears with Andy Dalton. The way that Andy Dalton's playing, they can beat the Bears, and then you're set up to where not only is Tampa Bay 4-1 and New Orleans, they play Kansas City. I think New Orleans might beat Kansas City. I'm gonna just leave it at that. They can beat Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City's not only due for a loss, but they're coming in as wounded as they've been. So
yeah, we could have beat Kansas City, and New Orleans could have beat us.
Exactly. And so, you drop this game though, you're 2.5 games back, really, out of first place in the division already. Tampa Bay's would have the head-to-head, and they'd have a 2-game lead on you. And you'd have to go to Carolina, who, like I said, if they're 2-3, shit.
Hold on.
Could go a lot of different ways. So that's why this game is just so important. But you could really get a grip on the division with the win tomorrow.
You know what? And Ben, big picture, the NFC is wide open. The NFC is wide slap open because we saw on Monday night the best 2 teams in the NFC face off.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a hell of a game. I mean, I remember the text you sent me. Since when did Geno become a guy?
Yeah, because I know that he played well, really the last 2 years. But put it this way, I'm sure you saw in our other league, I picked up Geno to be my backup.
You might need to be your starter.
I got Jordan Love.
Maybe you would have got a dub on this week.
Well, we're not going to talk about that right now.
I mean, I don't want to talk about fantasy football.
Well, I was about to say if we wanted to pivot, to the real league.
No.
Fuck
Ken Walker. Fuck Ken Walker.
Yeah, I mean, talk about having a game. I mean, he did everything that he needed to do for you to lose.
I mean, every single thing. And
I think he had almost 30 points.
And where's Sam Laporta? Hey, you know what we should do next year?
What's that?
We should load up on under on the under futures for whichever tight end I draft in the fantasy draft.
Have they? I guess because you drafted Travis last year.
Yeah, he went under. I don't even know what I don't know what the lines were. He went under.
Yeah.
Yards, touchdowns, he went under. Laporta.
Receptions.
Yeah. Now, Jared Goff has more receiving touchdowns than fucking Laporta.
That's crazy.
I got Laporta in like 2 or 3 leagues.
But here's the thing with Laporta. He had the greatest rookie tight end season ever. And
I know I wasn't wrong for drafting him.
No, for sure. But the thing was that he probably had probably 1,300 yards and like 12, 13 touchdowns. He wasn't going to be able to keep that up. Yeah, but he wasn't going to keep that up. Like, I think the expectation was, 1,000 yards, 8
touchdowns. Yeah. 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns.
But he's probably on pace right now to get 700 yards in
2.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts ass season. Because that's basically who you drafted at this point, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. What do we take of the Bills getting the dog shit kicked out of them by Baltimore?
Derrick
Henry hitting damn near the same top speed as Xavier Worthy.
I think that the biggest takeaway is that man's on a mission. The way that he's been running the ball the last 2 weeks, and maybe Baltimore's coming around. It's not because they just started 0-2. I mean, they could have beat Kansas City, and they shouldn't have lost to the Raiders. So they could easily be 4-0. I mean, but maybe they're coming into their own because it's like, hey, we've got Derrick Henry. This is how the year that the Titans were the 6th seed and they ended Tom Brady's time in New England. This is how they beat them. They went to the AFC Championship that year. Then the next year they were the number 1 seed. This is how Arthur Smith got a head coaching job. Like, it's because of him. Maybe we should give him the ball a little bit more. Maybe we should, because John Harbaugh had said that they didn't bring him in to be a 25, carry guy.
You know what Todd Monken said?
Feed him.
I didn't come here to stop winning championships. You see what Mike Bobo's doing with my boys right now?
Yeah.
I can leave here, make damn near the same money, and win rings. Trust me. Kirby just texted me. He's sitting in his office like, God damn it, why did I bring Mike Bobo back? He smells like Mark Richt.
That's exactly what it is, though. Even though, like I said, give Bobo credit for Saturday. I thought that. I mean, I know they were down, but like,
get him out of the building. Anybody outside of the equipment manager who was associated with Mark Richt has to go. But we're not talking about that. You know what Monken did, though? Because apparently Lamar doesn't like being under center. He likes the gun.
Yeah.
They got in that fucking pistol. Because, Derrick Henry is not a gun running back.
Yeah.
They got in a pistol. Best of both worlds. Miley Cyrus. And you know what? He came in like a wrecking ball. Took me a second to find. It took me a second to find out what my punchline was going to be.
Yeah.
I was my first thought was Jay's on my feet, but I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. But then wrecking ball.
Well, you could say he came in and bought himself flowers.
Hey, have you ever seen Miley Cyrus live?
No.
Amazing.
Really?
It's kind of hot on stage too. Not gonna lie. I had like a 2-month crush on her after I saw her live.
Really?
Yeah, but she was actually a
Where'd
really
you see her?
Midtown Music Festival like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Isn't that what it's called? Midtown Music Festival?
Yeah. I know that she had a Vegas residency at one point.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've got to stop bullshit, and I actually need to go talk to the wife about it. But I really want to go to that Music One Fest because I get like Glorilla and Sexy Red on the same day.
I was hoping that you were going to say, because I brought up Vegas, you trying to go out to Vegas for the Monday night Falcons game.
I'm supposed to be trying to go to that, and I'm actually kind of gotten that permission slip signed already. Isn't it like 3 days before Christmas?
No, it is like the week before. I think it's like December 16th or 15th.
I can't make that. It will be the 15th.
It's the 16th.
It's the 16th Monday. Yeah, no, I can't make that. I can't make that one.
Yeah.
My UT graduation is the 13th, and I got to take off from work for that. I'm going to be a dweeb and walk, and I already bought my cap and gown, so yeah, that ship is sailed.
We definitely need to try and do a road game. How about Denver? That was the one we talked about too.
When is it?
11/17. So that is the week before.
Fuck no, I can't do that.
Week before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's the day before my birthday.
It's not the week of.
Day before.
Yeah.
My birthday weekend. Can't fucking go out of town on my birthday weekend without my wife.
Would you? I mean, you've been to Denver though, so it's like. And
I know.
Now because of you've got a new employer, you can do.
I could work I could work around. Yeah, I could work around my employer. That's not the problem.
Well, no, I'm saying you can do certain things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That you weren't able to do the last couple of times you've been to Denver.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back to Denver, but you know good and fucking well I'm not going anywhere on my birthday weekend outside of the Atlanta area without my wife.
Yeah.
Like I can get a night out in the city by myself or with my friends. But out of town, birthday weekend,
that's a no-go.
Nah, I wouldn't even want to put myself through the pre-argument, the while I'm gone argument, and the post argument.
Yeah.
Cause like you're catching all three because you can't like slide that permission slip in, last minute. Now you got to put that one out a couple weeks, so you got to deal with it leading up to it.
Well, we got Minnesota too, and that looks like that's going to be that game could get flexed.
When's Tampa?
The day after homecoming.
Oh yeah, that's dead.
Yeah, it's the day after homecoming, so that's obviously this month.
Yeah, and that's the day. I'd much rather go see Glorilla and Sexy Red on that day than go see the Falcons and Buccaneers.
You got New Orleans on 11-10. And
that's
then,
easy. That's one that could be swung because we can make it a family trip, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, and then you got last home game of the year. We got plenty of friends in the area. We get the Commanders, and that's after Christmas. That's the weekend after Christmas. Heads into New Year. I mean,
come on, man.
The Boinks, the Broadwaters, the Gambles.
You're gonna make me text you.
Jew, Mr. Turner.
You're gonna make me text you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you went up there for business not that long ago. This is business. Just like buying the season tickets is business. It's business.
Is Sam Darnold for real? You know what? I actually don't care. I don't care. I want to get to some of these tweets you sent me today.
Let's go for it.
What's the first one? Here we go. MVP airball in the layup with the game on the line. My Lord. Black men hate black women. Rest in peace to sports talk. So this was in reference to apparently Asia Wilson airballed a layup yesterday with the game on the line, and they got eliminated. They got eliminated, right?
No, they get eliminated. They're down. I tell you what, they are on the brink.
Yeah, they're on the cam, and some stupid black woman hops on here and says black men hate black women. And here's why I want to call her a stupid black woman. She's not stupid because she's black. I'm identifying her as she is a black woman, obviously. And I'm identifying her as stupid because she's stupid. We've got to take race out of obvious sports analysis. Now, if we're projecting long term, okay, sometimes race plays a factor in this stuff. But if I am literally having a comment about what somebody did in a game, one singular solitary moment, it's not a race conversation. It's, the MVP airball to layup. In any other sport, they're getting – dog, if LeBron, who hasn't won an MVP since, 2013, airballs a layup in crunch time, that is leading every single sports show in America.
Yeah.
Now – the Las Vegas Aces losing a playoff game will probably never, ever lead a sports show, even a WNBA sports show, because I don't think those exist. But that's sports talk. That's what we do. Has nothing to do with black men versus black women. Stop fucking race baiting. And hey, all of you, yes, we love the WNBA women, but you don't really love the WNBA. You don't follow sports. Hey, it's Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark ass motherfuckers. You Cheryl Swoops assholes. All those of you out there who own that.
You spiritual word T bitches. Yeah.
Yeah, all y'all. when y'all come to this sports shit, y'all need to learn to shut the fuck up. Just like y'all tell men, hey, stop trying to police women's bodies. You can't tell women what to do. Stay out of women's business. Hey, if you ain't no sports fan, stay out of sports business because you don't know what the fuck you talking about. When good players come up short in big games, they get criticized. Ain't got nothing to do with race. Yeah. Luka criticized for playing terrible defense in the finals. Joker criticized for playing for getting beat by the Timberwolves. Cat criticized for stupid fouls in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert criticized for being on the bench in the Olympics and playing like shit against Dallas. LeBron criticized every day for having a bad hairline and getting his son in the league. KD criticized for going to the Suns and leaving Golden State. Brad Beal criticized because a team decided to pay him the Supermax.
Jason Tatum criticized for not getting the Gatorade fast enough at the Olympics for his teammates.
That's sports. You don't have to like it. It's okay. You don't have to like it. Do I think we are too critical of athletes? Absolutely, but I do it. So fuck it. But you don't come in here telling us how to talk about it and then bring your fucking spiritual word race baiting bullshit in here. Shut the fuck up. Because see, these are the same people who will listen to this clip right here and they'll be like, yes, queen.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten to that point. And also, she's good at basketball. She understands she's top things from a lot of you. And I mean, that's dumb of it.
Hey, yo, you and that other fire-ass white girl, y'all really only popping because y'all white. The fuck? Do people not realize, for one, this is Asia Wilson talking to Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
Before Caitlin Clark, there was Kelsey Plum. And Kelsey Plum didn't have all the eyes of Caitlin Clark. Like, she was a hoops mixtape legend, like the little hoops tapes on Instagram. Yeah. They called her like white girl Harden type shit.
Yeah.
More buckets than anybody in women's college basketball history. Bucket. Paige, before people were talking about Caitlin Clark, because they're like same class and shit. Paige was her. Then she got hurt. Shit happens with the whoop. But if you watch basketball, you watch Paige, you go, nah, Paige can hoop. You watch Kelsey Plum, nah, Kelsey Plum can hoop. And for Asia Wilson to fucking hop out of the comments of the spiritual word and bring that shit to some basketball shit and be like, oh yeah, she can like you know, her privilege take over the top, but she knows it's bigger than her. So hold on. So the WNBA is supposed to be a black women's paradise. I get that by the numbers, there are more good black women at basketball than women of any other race. Cool. And those of you who are good deserve your flowers. But what I'm tired of in this fucking WNBA conversation is y'all are telling us whose game we have to like more. You're telling me I gotta like Kobe's game more than AI's game because Kobe won 5 rings. Guess what? I'm 6 feet tall. I like AI's game better because I can relate to that game. Guess what? I'm from middle America, blue collar, white girl, and I'm watching basketball. Guess who I like to watch more than Asia fucking Wilson? Caitlin goddamn Clark, Kelsey fucking Plum, Paige Beckers. What the fuck is wrong with that? We are really telling people who to be fans of.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's something that, especially because the WNBA is now getting eyeballs on it, outside of the
shout out to Wayne.
Yeah, outside of your Waynes and your sports bettors, this is where you can now finally get some casuals to talk about it. So because casuals talk about it, there's going to be more commentary on it. More commentary means that more people that have been a part of it are going to have something to say about it. And it's just kind of like, gosh, can we just enjoy the game? Like, why are we already making this get taken somewhere that it shouldn't, when it should just be about the product, like the product only? It's
And,
crazy.
and Aja Wilson, unfortunately, is gonna fall. Is gonna like suffer from like the Tim Duncan disease. Really fucking good,
Yeah.
amazing, great. But people rather watch the guards. Am I often saying that?
No, I don't think so. I think that you got a very valid point, Lee.
And is that disrespectful to Aja Wilson's greatness and dominance by saying she's going to suffer from the Tim Duncan syndrome or Tim Duncan disease?
No, not at all.
I mean, Tim Duncan has a better resume than Kobe Bryant, but he's not talked about in the same breath as Kobe.
Yes.
No, his resume's better. More MVPs. I know.
Yeah,
That's the guy.
we know that was an unfair thing against Kobe. But
when our kids are looking at the records, they can look at the paperwork and say Tim is better. They can watch it and say, nah, Kobe's better. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's a touchy subject for me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Yeah. A lot of people forget that Kobe's like a 11-time all defensive first team. People forget that. People forget that he did it on both sides of the ball. He's elite. Like,
I'm with you.
I don't think Jordan. I don't think Jordan had that many. And Jordan's got a DPOY, but like,
yeah, but come on, man. Jordan. Who did Jordan guard? Don't get me started on that
Zeke.
Shit. He didn't guard Zeke.
Who was he getting? Joe Dumars?
Maybe.
Danny Ainge. I'm sure he guarded Magic when they would play the Lakers.
No, that's Scotty. Because remember, in the finals, James Worthy was out.
Yeah.
But here's what we like to do here. We like to have nuanced conversations. And if you listen to us, we're not afraid to talk about race. We will talk about race when it's relevant in a conversation or when we deem it relevant. But we're not going to just make everything about race because, yes, I'm a black man every single day of the week. But I like to feel that in many situations that I've been able to succeed or fail based on my merits, not on the color of my skin.
That and then it's not something that certainly, even if it's thought about, you're not talking about it.
Because
most times that's just if it's thought about.
And what does the conversation do? Like, I mean, bro, just imagine us sitting there. And I'm talking about us with one of our friends. And we're just a group of black people.
Yeah.
And somebody injects race into some shit where it doesn't even matter. Or even worse, imagine somebody white telling you how they compare this other black person to you who is thriving in a field where there's not many black people thriving, but then they talk about privilege. And you're like, yo, man, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. Think about Tiger Woods. Think about Serena Williams. Think about Venus Williams. Think about Coco Gauff, right? They carry much larger fan bases. And don't let me get to the Simone Biles and them too. They carry larger fan bases based on race because niggas are just supporting them in a field where there's not many black people there. Fuck succeeding, just there. And then they bring in the true fans because they're actually good at what they do. So they have larger fan bases than some people who could be better than them at any given point in time. There's no difference.
Yeah, it's really one of those things, man, where especially in the case of Aja Wilson, your Marcellus Wiley's.
Ripped her.
It just, I don't know. I don't think that, especially with the game that is supposed to be growing, why that's even being brought up. Like, like you said, you got Kelsey Plums, you got Stewie, you got these white chicks that are like just dogs.
Sabrina.
Like they're dogs, but they're dogs. Like they're
Yeah.
dogs. Like there is no, oh man, it's more because they're white. It's like no. If you watch the game, you will see that she's just better. Like these chicks are better. Like they're just better. Now they just so happen to be white, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. People, they almost want to. It's almost like they're gatekeeping or trying to protect what the WNBA was, right? Cheryl Swoops, like the early people, the people that really kind of set the foundation for them. I guess maybe who they grew up kind of watching, right?
And maybe
Dawn
that's why
Staley.
Shaq and Angel Reese get along so well, because Shaq is doing the same thing in the NBA.
Right.
Like you shitting on people who may not be better than you, but they get more notoriety than you. Not to mention that Caitlin Clark's rookie year was Cheryl Swoop's MVP season. So
Well,
I'll
here's
relax,
the other thing. Here's the other thing with that though. Shaq's, and which is crazy because Shaq. So we all know Shaq's wealthy. Like Shaq's disappointed because guys like Rudy Gobert are getting $200 million, and he's like, he not doing nothing to earn no $200 million. And it's like, well, Shaq, he is to a degree. Do I think he's worth it? No, hell no. But at the same time, based on what the NBA is bringing in and what his position is in the NBA, he's a four-time DPOY. So I mean, it's not like, look, which we didn't even talk about this. RIP to Dikembe Mutombo, but it's not like a guy like Dikembe Mutombo wasn't getting the max while he was here, and then that little cup of coffee he had in Philly. No, Dikembe Mutombo was not getting Shaq money at that time, right?
Yeah. Different league.
Different league, A, but then B, but how important was Dikembe? Dikembe's in the Hall of Fame, and we're not even going to talk about, and we can maybe, once we getting ready to end it, we could talk about, his humanity, everything he did off the court. But like Rudy Gobert in today's NBA is considered this dinosaur, but his position is so valuable to teams, he's gonna get that pay. And somebody like Shaq, he's hating on the fact that this man is getting a check.
Hey, and here's the other thing,
which he helped lay the foundation for them to get this check.
And here's another thing, Parlay P. You're worth what somebody pays you. The market defines value. We know girls who are wives right now that a man is deeply in love with, and we wouldn't be seen in public with her. Not one-on-one. Maybe in a group of people. And that man thinks she's a queen.
Yeah.
And to him, she's a queen. And she deserves to be treated like a queen because he wants to do it.
Yeah.
If an owner wants to pay Rudy Gobert $200 million over the life of a contract because he sees him as somebody worth $200 million, guess what? The nigga's worth $200 million and he fucking deserves it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
As I'm sitting here on a microphone, that may change if I'm a GM and my owner's saying, hey, no, you pay him. He doesn't leave.
Or else I don't pay you.
Yeah. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Rudy Gobert worth $200 million. Here's the contract, Rudy. So and stuff like that I don't like. Because again, it is people taking their personal preferences, their personal beliefs, and saying those have to be the beliefs of the masses. Yeah. And especially in this white WNBA conversation or white women's basketball conversation, there's data that is backing up the popularity of these individuals. And Paige had a great speech at like the ESPY where she talked about how white women get more coverage than the black women in women's basketball. And I think that's unfortunate, but the people who display these images, they answer to the people who give them who pay for ads. And if that's what gets eyes, it may not be fair, but it's fucking business. I'm not saying I like it, but Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers is a more inviting human being to many American households than Asia Wilson or Angel Reese. Not to my household, but to many other households. That's more inviting.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with speaking your mind, but at the same time, too, and we get it, your game speaks for itself on floor. That's why you're MVP. Do you want to fuck up your opportunity of them taking you out of this CarMax commercial? Like, you know what I mean? Because you making the fucking comments about shit that like don't have shit to do with you.
I don't know. Maybe. Because maybe she's one that stands on business.
But
maybe
you're
she
already
stands
not,
on her morals and beliefs.
You're already not getting paid what you think you should be getting paid. And that they are giving you the money that, you know, you can kind of have some fun off of.
Yeah, you know, that teacher salary is hard to live off of.
Yeah, but if during the summertime said teacher, you know, that everybody at the school wants to hit, including the parents, is bartending, that'll pay it.
Exactly. And I was having a conversation about this yesterday, and it was like the reason why Asia doesn't get propped up is because she will talk about race. Okay, well, what's more important to you? And she's and the Nike stuff, and it's like, well, maybe she took a stand against Nike, but Sabrina got the twos revealed before we dropped the Asia ones. Caitlin got a shoe revealed before we got the Asia ones. And I hate when we do this because it seems like we are bigging up white women and we're not. We're just looking at business.
Well, business, and I mean, let's stop acting like these girls aren't like really
Popular
good.
and
Like
good.
it would be. I'm gonna be honest with you. It'd be one thing you sent out the something earlier where the guy named the top 5 most overrated athletes. Like, you know, it would be one thing if Joe Namath is getting these commercials and it's like he had more interceptions than he did touchdowns in his career. Why are we promoting this dude? No. Caitlin Clark just had a historic season, most assists ever in an NBA season.
First team all WNBA as a rookie.
Clearly, which I get it, and she understood it, and she's not even salty about it because she handles this type of stuff better than anyone. Should have been on Team USA, wasn't.
Beat them.
Took to beat them. Took the time to get better. Fever go on a run, make the playoffs, something that they hadn't done in eons. In a 10-team league, you know, I'm serious, or maybe it's a 12-team league, but like I'm just saying, 8 teams get in. 66%. We talked about 66% earlier. 66% of the teams get in. They ain't been in like 6 years. So like,
I mean, she answered the call, but then we want to talk about privilege.
Yeah.
Well, her privilege is that she's good at her craft.
Yeah, she can fucking play. You know?
I mean, I'm willing to say we watch more women's college basketball because of Caitlin Clark. I won't say WNBA because we were both watching WNBA before she came to the league.
Yeah. She's certainly she's having the effect that I think a lot of us hoped eventually Gigi Bryant was going to have, like on the WNBA. And obviously 2 different scenarios of how, but like, I'm just saying, like, I think that, and maybe it's because I am such a big Kobe fan, it was something that I looked forward to. Like, and now Caitlin Clark, after watching her play at Iowa, it's like those games were entertaining. It wasn't just, oh, this white chick shooting like Steph Curry, whatever. No. It was poetry in motion. Yeah, she's talking shit.
And she's talking shit.
She's backing it up. She's backing said shit up even more.
And she's at the floor of marketable female attractiveness.
Yes, and yeah, look, she's white and she's heterosexual.
Yeah. Hey.
WNBA hasn't really had a star like that. Like, I know that Asia's heterosexual too, right? Her and I guess Bam Adebayo had a thing, but
She's like 6'4", bro.
that's what I'm saying. You don't look like everybody. You're like a specimen.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, even though Caitlin Clark's like 6 feet, 6'1", she don't look it on the court.
They're like the post players, they're more like a kink. Like the guards are the WNBA guards are like my preference.
Kink. That's crazy.
But think about it. Your average dude is not trying to knock off a 6'4" chick.
No.
You will. You're not trying to date her.
And your average chick's not a 6'4" chick to look up to. Like, I want to play like her.
Right. But like you're 6'2", I'm 5'11". We meet a chick that's 5'7" to 5'9", 5'10". It may not be what's normally like in your bag because just most of the women you meet are 5'4" and under. But you're not gonna look at the 5'8" chick and be like, you're too tall.
Yeah.
Nah.
Can't do it. Not gonna do
it. It's just so layered, and I think that on the national platforms they can't have this conversation this raw to like man talk this shit and talk about attraction and talk about relatability in this raw, uncut way that you don't get this conversation. But look, we're running short on time. You got the picks ready?
I do. I literally have been looking just to put these together. But yeah, I do have them.
All right. Once you put them together, will you just shoot me the text again?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll actually put them out this week. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Pete College Football 6.
6. Okie doke. All right, so we're back. Like I said, pretty successful week last week. 4-1, one game out of the 6-pack unfortunately fell out because of the hurricane, which praying for everybody. I hope everybody is okay from that. I know that it seems like North Carolina got hit worse than anywhere. But nonetheless, we got a brand new slate here and a couple of dogs that are surprising dogs that I really like. But we're going to start off with the teams that are going to be bouncing back this week. So we'll start off with Ole Miss at South Carolina. Give me Ole Miss on the money line. I think it's plain and simple. Lane knows that if they drop this game too, that they're done. And I don't expect Ole Miss to be one of those teams that's going to be done in, not by this game, you're not. So give me Ole Miss on the money line at South Carolina. Next, we got USC at Minnesota. Again, another team that really should probably blow doors, but I expect Minnesota to kind of greet their new Southern California counterparts with a little bit more of a bang. So I'm just going to take USC on the money line instead of taking USC spread. So we'll go USC money line at Minnesota. Next, we got SMU at Louisville. SMU quarterback play is terrible. Speaks volumes for really how bad Florida State is because they got hammered by SMU. But I like Louisville.
Not good.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to get to him. He's going to be the last pick on this slate. SMU at Louisville. Give me Louisville on the money line. Next, we got an SEC showdown, 2 ranked teams. We got one team that should not be ranked, and I think is maybe the most overrated team in the SEC. And I don't understand why they keep getting all this success. All this recognition here by still being a ranked team. We got Missouri at Texas A&M. I like Missouri on the money line. Coach Trinkle had those boys ready, especially almost after that scare to Vanderbilt, keeping them in their playoff contention. And they're dogs here, so give me Missouri on the money line.
Hold on, A&M is still ranked.
A&M is ranked number 25, and they're favored over Missouri this weekend. I can't make this stuff up.
Nasty.
So give me, and Missouri's the dog. Give me Missouri on the money line. Next, we got a national championship rematch this week that nobody's talking about. Michigan at Washington. There's no DeBoer. There's no Penix. There's no Adunze. So you know what that means. Give me Michigan on the money line. They're dogs in this game. And I know that their quarterback situation is shaky, but Washington's quarterback situation is pretty bad too. So give me Michigan on the money line as a dog. And then our final game of the week. I have been waiting for this game since the start of the season because we did not know how this was going to look. One program one direction, the other one, and the other. We got Clemson at Florida State. Give me Clemson minus 14.5. I'm not even buying the fucking point. I think that they're going to get dog walked. I think Florida State is that bad. You know, they lost 42-16 this SMU this past week. I think that Florida State is in contention for if college football could get the top recruit as the number one pick, kind of like how the NFL does it, Florida State would be headed towards that. That's how bad this team really is. I think Norville might even get fired after this one if Clemson really walks them the way I think they are. So give me Clemson minus 14.5 at Florida State. This is the easiest pick. This is my guarantee of the week, low key.
All right, so we got Ole Miss on the money line, USC on the money line, Louisville on the money line, Mizzou on the money line, Michigan on the money line, and Clemson minus 14.5.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Parlay Pete's NFL Six Pack.
Six. All right. Really nice slate of NFL games this week. A couple of really intriguing games. I'm going to start off with the ones that aren't as intriguing. We got the Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears. Man, give me the Carolina Panthers +4. Never thought I'd be saying that this year, especially against a team like the Bears who had high hopes. Carolina's been playing really well. And the Bears can't really score points like that. So I like Carolina cover +4. Give me Carolina at +4 at Chicago. Next, we got probably my favorite game of the week. Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. This game really is going to determine a lot for the Bengals. Bengals drop this one. Go ahead and book it. Their season's kind of over. I like the Bengals +3.5 here. I don't know if they're going to win, but I know that this game is going to be extremely close. I like them at +3.5. I think that that's a really safe number to take the Bengals at. Next, we got the Green Bay Packers at the LA Rams. It's going to be a home game for the Packers. They don't get very many home games that are in nice weather. So give me the Green Bay Packers on the money line. The Rams are, I think they're still a scrappy team, but they're just too depleted. There's just no wide receiver help. And the Packers certainly coming off that loss to the Vikings. Jordan Love's got to get his first win of the season because he doesn't have one. So give me the Packers on the money line. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Arguably maybe the best game this week, potentially. Bills at Texans.
Yeah, I think so.
Surprise. Actually, I'm not surprised, and I'll get to why I'm not surprised that this isn't the Sunday night game because we know what the Sunday night game is. Bills at Texans. Give me over 46.5. I like the over here. I expect the Bills to put up some points. And I expect the Texans to put up some points. So over 46.5 is the play. Then next, we got our first international game of the year, Jets versus Vikings in London. I'm going to get on to the train this week. Give me Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings. They have just been playing really good football. And this seems like an upset spot for the Jets. The Jets really aren't a good team. I mean, I don't know what to say. They have some issues. There's something wrong there. And maybe it's Nate Hackett.
No,
or maybe Aaron Rodgers is cooked.
I think it's Big Bob Saleh.
But do you think Rodgers is maybe even just a little cooked? Like, he just isn't who he was.
He's not who he was 3 years ago, but I don't think he's cooked. I think Big Bob Saleh, who has a 33% winning percentage, sucks.
Yeah, and that's a big part of why they're losing because he's used to doing it, right? So, but I like the Vikings here. So give me the Vikings on the money line. And then, of course, last game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. What an interesting game. This is arguably maybe – there's certainly two of the three biggest brands in the NFL, with the Steelers being a small market team but having that presence across the world, really. I like the Dallas Cowboys in this spot, honestly. As bad as they've played, I still feel like with Pittsburgh, it's one of those situations where, they're in that position of can you score 20 points, right? Like,
yeah.
And to me, I feel like this is a big spot for Dak on Sunday night. I like the Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys on the money line as a dog.
I like that one because if Dak can get up 10-0 and then like 17-3, curtains.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the Panthers +4, Bengals +3.5, Packers on the money line, Bills at Texans over 46.5, Vikings on the money line, and Cowboys on the money line.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, like the underdogs. Well, if you like it, then I love it.
And when you love it, that means it's time for Lee's 3.
Lee's 3.
3.
Lee's 3. Lee's 3. We'll figure that out one of these days. All right, so for Lee's 3, I'm going to go against something that most people think that I would do because of my despise for Dabo, but give me Clemson minus 14.5. I just don't think Florida State is good. There's no DJU. He has a broken thumb or something on his throwing hand, and if you can't beat DJU out for a job, then you are not good. Then I'm going to take the Packers. I'm going to take that Packers money line. Jordan Love gets him a win. I'm rooting for the kid, and he may be on one of my fantasy teams. And then lastly, give me that Bills and Texans over 46.5. I think the offense gets going. I don't really love the Bills defense. And I do think the Bills offense comes back and makes a statement after just not having a pulse at all against the Baltimore Ravens.
Good call. I like those, obviously.
I'd hope so. But hey, Parlay Pete, before we get out of here, you touched on Dikembe Mutombo a little bit. But this past week, we lost 3 legends in the game, man. We lost Dikembe Mutombo, then we lost Pete Rose, and then we lost John Amos. All 3 people at various points in time played significant roles, and not significant roles in people's. Well, maybe some. They played a role in the culture.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Dikembe. One of the things about Dikembe, I actually posted it on Snapchat. He sat in the same suite as us for the the final game at the Georgia Dome, and I have a video with him where he actually does the no. He was great about it. Honestly, it wasn't a very long conversation that we had, but nice guy. I used to see him. Actually, he used to be at the Sporting Club a lot too. And I never knew if he owned I didn't know what his role was up there, but I probably in my lifetime saw him up there like 8 to 10 times. Like I'd seen him that much up there, and he was never working out or anything. But so RIP to, and obviously big part of the Atlanta Hawks. His jersey's retired here. One of probably, if not really, kind of the best player from that. I mean, him and Smitty and Mookie Blaylock, I guess, but. Certainly was a big part of the Hawks in the 90s. And just by all accounts, for the most part, maybe the biggest humanitarian in the NBA and a big part of expanding to Africa. I know he was huge. He was the first global initiative VP dude for the NBA. So he'll be missed. Pete Rose, obviously.
Hey, hold on. You know who else is going to miss him?
Who?
The ladies.
Oh, yeah. Who Wants to Sex Mutombo, right?
Yeah, I heard he was Trick Daddy.
Well, and then there's the story of Who Wants to Sex Mutombo.
I heard if Mutombo come in the club and shorty you would look at him.
That was it.
Hang it up. He got her. And I just want to just put this out here. I don't ever want people to take this as a disrespectful thing. Because in man world, we look at that as like real fly player shit. Like that's like cool. Like you just walk in there and you got them. That's like a badge of honor as a man. Or you can get the one you want just because you're there. That's fly shit. So in paying respects, we have to do that.
Yeah. And like I said too, of course, with Pete Rose, obviously all-time hits leader in MLB. Of course, with the way that gambling is on sports going today, it's interesting how he's not in, and I understand why. Feels like something that baseball should go back and do, but knowing how baseball is, he'll never get in, unfortunately. But obviously, by all accounts, all-time greatest hitter, and WWE Hall of Famer. Interestingly enough, I forgot what his role was in one of those WrestleManias, but he did something in it.
Oh shit, we forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, and then we'll get it next week.
Yeah.
And then of course with John Amos, a lot of people knew him from Good Times. Certainly for me, the most famous thing I knew him for was being Cleo McDowell, right, and Coming to America, and probably the it's kind of crazy. Maybe the unsung hero of the movie.
Yeah, because you know what? He is he was the best type of blue collar dad. And I know some would want to talk about the sack chasing, pause, him trying to get his daughter with the guy with the most money.
Yeah.
But what I take from that is he was a guy, and you look at the era, he, he was just trying to set his daughter up for the best situation for her moving forward. And that's all you can ask for as a parent. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be pawning my daughter off to the highest bidder, by no means.
Well,
But
and
if
then
my daughter's dating a guy who's the heir to a large empire, and she appears to like him by my accounts, or the darn mop boy at my fast food restaurant wants her, I'd say, hey, you got to think about your long term financial stability.
yeah, and then even for them, I mean, they owned a restaurant, so it wasn't like they were hurting for money either,
Oh, they weren't
right?
poor.
Like, right. So, he just thought it was perfect. It's like, oh wow,
Two
you
black
know,
empires, black business
it,
comes together.
right. He just initially thought that he was a goat herder because that
What he
was
said.
what he said, right? So but yeah, R.I.P. to all three. Certainly had lasting impressions on this earth, and I think that's all we can ask for as people is to leave an impression on this earth before we leave.
Hey, absolutely. And hey, one last thing. Let's touch this real quickly. Parlay Pete, what'd you think about the cat trade?
The who?
The cat trade.
Oh, I liked it, honestly. I liked it because if Julius Randle can be that 20-8 guy, it really kind of makes a ton of sense because Minnesota gets a shooter in DiVincenzo. And I think with New York, it adds something to the team that you basically did have last year. Like this is in a weird way, yeah, they added Bridges, but like it's the same Knicks. Like it, I mean, obviously DiVincenzo's gone, but you kind of subbed out DiVincenzo. You really only subbed out DiVincenzo for Cat and Bridges. So it kind of seems like a addition by subtraction by getting rid of him, anyways, in that sense. Like, so I liked it for both teams. I don't think that it puts the Knicks over the top personally, but I think it just adds a little bit more pizzazz to the season because they did add a all-star to the team.
Yeah, so I'll take the Knicks side of it first. I think it added more flexibility to the Knicks. It gives them it gives them lineup variability, right? They can go
Yeah.
small now, but they have a 7-footer out there when they go small.
And Cat proved to be a better defender this past season, too,
Yeah,
for what it's worth. So,
they can go big and have 2 7-footers on the floor. And they keep the shooting that they lost by moving DiVincenzo. And I think that as far as the pecking order and hierarchy goes, the three Nova guys will figure it out with Cat as the 2, but sometimes the 1A. Because I'm just not going to sit here and say that Jalen Brunson is just hands down a better basketball player than Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, he has the ball more. We like the attitude that he shows. He seems to be a bit more tenacious than Karl Anthony Towns. But do you really think Jalen Brunson is a better basketball player than Karl Anthony Towns?
no.
Okay, just making
He
sure.
shouldn't be. He shouldn't be.
And what I liked about it for Minnesota is they add a second scorer who can get his own bucket. Like Julius does not need Ant-Man to get going. And then by bringing in DiVincenzo, they get a shooter. They can clear up their money situation and make Rudy work. Obviously, they probably would have rather traded Rudy, but nobody wanted anything. Nobody was giving up any value for Rudolph Gobert.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like I said, it still fits kind of their their DNA as a defensive team too by keeping him.
Yeah, what it tells me is we're going to have a lot of parity in the NBA because I don't know who's going to be great. I just don't know. And
There's no favorite.
No.
There's no – I mean, I guess Denver, just because they had the best player on earth, and especially after what he did in the Olympics, like I feel like he's kind of, you know, by default, they're going to always kind of come in as the favorite. And just like how Milwaukee typically, for whatever reason, they're going to always get a lot of favoritism. I mean, I guess Boston's the favorite too, but like they're co-favorites.
But we don't look at Boston as having dynasty potential. Like they may get 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, or some shit like that, or 2 out of 5. But we won't predict it.
Yeah.
We don't trust. I mean, Jason Tatum. I mean, look here. Jason Tatum could have hung out with me at work during the Olympics.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is out here promoting these new independent big baller brands.
Yeah, and having threesomes with WNBA players.
Allegedly, and we don't know what they did. We just know they went to a summer league game together.
Yeah, they hung out in Las Vegas and left together. Yeah.
They probably came together too, didn't
they? Hey-o.
All right, dog. This was fun, man. I think I'll see you tomorrow.
I was about to say, I'll see you tomorrow. Let me know when because I'll be back down by 5:30, and I'll probably start walking that way 6:30.
All right, I plan to get off from work around 5-ish, deal with that ugly commute, and then park and just walk over.
Okay.
All right, dog.
All right, brother. Take care.
Yep, you too.